Hey, everybody. Welcome to Love and Reload, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross, and I'm so blessed and honored to bring my very good friend, Adam Lowy, founder and executive director of Move for Hunger here. It's so good to have you here for a mid-year review. This is a special year as well. We're going to get into all that, everything Move for Hunger is doing, kind of a look back a little bit on just kind of the story again, because I'm always just fascinated how we even got here. Adam, thank you so much for being here.
Ben, thank you so much for having me. It's
If I'm
always
not
good to
shouting at
be on
people, I feel like they don't hear me. I'm excited right now, Adam.
It's palpable. It's palpable, buddy. I've missed you.
I missed you too. I missed you too. Hey, if you're watching right now, get in the comments, hit that like button. I want to know what questions you have. What are you doing in your community to support Move for Hunger and solve for food insecurity, or just how are you getting involved? What questions do you have about getting involved? But Adam, I've got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Why is this year so dang special?
This year is so dang special because next month we celebrate our 15-year anniversary. 15
Wow.
years since we started. It's been crazy, and I'm just so grateful to everybody that has supported us and put up with all of our crazy ideas for the past 15 years to make some meaningful change out there.
It's really awesome. And the amount of impact you've had in our communities individually, the amount of impact and inspiration you've given to us as a relocation and moving industry. And, we've had people in this industry with great hearts and good intentions for a long time. And I feel like, honestly, what you've brought us with Move for Hunger is a way to channel that and work together and kind of combine our forces to solve for the logistical issues behind food insecurity. And I'm just so grateful to you and the wonderful team that you have.
Well, you hit the nail on the head, Ben, because you know what? The goodwill of the industry, the relocation and moving, it's always been there, right? Like
Yeah.
people have always been good. People have always been given back. And Move for Hunger wouldn't exist without these industries as a whole. Like we're an organization, we're a vessel, but ultimately it's every one of our moving partners, 1,200 moving companies across the United States and Canada, recovering food on the daily. We're working with apartment communities, which we never thought we'd be doing, 500,000 apartment units across the nation. It's been, just growth that I couldn't imagine. But what it comes down to is every individual and everyone's companies that are going out there every day and making it happen.
And I love and shout out to everybody that's watching. Get in the comments here. Rachel Guerin, love it when Ben yells. Thank you, Rachel. That just means it's my love language is shouting at the computer screens. Sandra Clary, congratulations on 15 years. Adam, Sandra, thank you so much for being such a supporter. Adam, I love when I go, because I travel a lot for work and everything, and I'll go into a corporate housing apartment. And I love when I check in and there's a flyer on the kitchen countertop telling me about how I can donate food. And I just love seeing you guys turn up everywhere, whether it's I turn on Good Morning America or I check into a random unit in Chicago or California or something, and I see Move for Hunger there. You've done such a wonderful job, and we're going to talk about the mission and we're going to talk about food insecurity. But I got to ask you, just because I'm entrepreneurial like that and I just love the story, like, did you ever think 15 years ago that this would be where we're at today?
I think it has expanded into other places that I did not imagine 15 years ago. I think 15 years ago, I was just thinking about moving companies. All I was thinking is if we could give everyone the opportunity to donate their food when they move, if we just make this the norm that happens, then everybody wins, right? And I think that's kind of how we did what we did. And I mean, you're mentioning you're kind of seeing Move for Hunger in so many places. We're trying to become that standard operating procedure. It's more than an organization. It's the way that companies and industries do business. And when you can make that the standard, then it's not necessarily charity anymore. It's actually just the right thing to do. It's sustainability. It's taking care of your community. And those are really the lessons we try to instill with all of our partners.
I love it. Hit that like button. Let's show Adam and Move for Hunger some support. We've got some great people. We've got Mark and Tanya, and Rachel and Kramer and folks coming on today. So stay tuned. We've got a lot of things to bring you, a lot of things in the docket this year. But before we get into kind of how we're doing it, let's talk a little bit about the mission, Adam, and what are the problems we're trying to solve in this 15th year.
Yeah, I mean, the fact of the matter is, I mean, we're halfway through 2024, which is crazy how quickly this year has gone by. But also, food insecurity is at its highest point since before I started the organization 15 years ago.
Wow.
Hunger's not going down. It is on the rise. There are 44 million Americans, including 1 in 5 kids, that don't know where their next meal is coming from. And, you know, it truly is affecting everyone. As we talk to a lot of our food banking and pantry partners across the country, not only did we see like an increase in COVID, like during COVID, but post-COVID, we're still seeing those numbers continue to rise.
Why is it getting worse, Adam? I mean, all the work that we're doing and all the coming together. I mean, I feel like my awareness is high because I mean, obviously, I'm living and breathing Move for Hunger and food insecurity. But I mean, why is this problem so persistent?
Yeah, I mean, when you think about hunger, the reason people are hungry is because they can't afford food, right? So poverty is the root cause of hunger. And when you think about things like minimum wage, cost of housing, cost of healthcare, even just cost of food. I mean, the average cost of food has increased if you've been to the grocery store lately. So you've seen all of these costs rise while wages have stayed pretty stagnant. For the majority of Americans, not every.
We had some wage growth, but it couldn't keep up with the 10% compound inflation that we were seeing for a couple of years. And it disproportionately affected the cost of food and staples. To your point, I mean, we all remember the eggs being $9. I mean, things like that, right? So wow, that's and here we are in the summer months, and I remember you teaching me this, but kids that depend on free lunch at elementary and middle school, they're not getting those free lunches at school. I mean, at least they had one guaranteed meal a day, and now they're not. Now they may not even be getting that.
They say 3 out of 4 teachers can identify at least one food insecure child in their classroom. And kids that are food insecure, they can't keep up. I mean, try doing it for one day. Try like staying on top of your work when you haven't had anything to eat for the whole day.
Oh, my team knows you don't schedule a meeting with me at 11:30, okay, unless you want to lose an arm. All right. So I get it. And I remember going to school. I went to school. I went to an alternative high school. So we had some kids in there that had a lot of challenges, economic challenges. And I remember, I mean, there was kids that had a dollar to stick in the juice machine or get a Twix bar. And then there were kids that hung out by the juice machine, asked for the quarter that we got back, and then they try to put 3 quarters together and get a lemonade, So, I mean, I remember that growing up, and
I've got 2 little girls at home too. And, my daughter recognizes when she's hungry, fortunately, but she still breaks down and she screams and, and she's been saying, I'm hung mad, right? Not hangry. I'm hung mad. That's the new term over here.
Hung mad.
Yeah, it's the best. But I have the means, right? I've got the means to support. When she's hungry and she tells me she's hungry, I can get her something and she's able to calm down. She's able to come back to equilibrium. Yeah. There are so many children in this country and so many families that can't provide that. And that just becomes the norm. And it's a stress on family life for those of you that have kids and have seen your kid just having a tantrum. And it's also just a stress for those that are trying to boost themselves up, whether you're a child or an adult and still don't have enough food for yourself. Like it's a challenge. And, over the past 15 years, we're just about to hit our 40 millionth meal.
Oh my gosh.
Being delivered to fit. Like we'll hit that in August for our birthday, which I'm thrilled about. But while it took us 15 years to get to 40 million meals, we're going to deliver another 13 million meals this year alone. So that just kind of gives you a sense of how much we're growing. And frankly, we need to, because the need is certainly not going away.
Yeah. And Tandra's chiming in here. Food prices going up. Thank you, Tandra Chester. Marcello's checking in here. Hit that like button. Hit that applause button there, that little green hands. I love that one. Hit that one for 40 millionth meal donated. Sandra Clary is saying so true about the increasing challenges. I've been on both sides of this and count it as a privilege to be in a position to help those in need. You're so right, Sandra. I mean, we're so blessed, right? If we're watching this on on a smartphone or at a job somewhere or whatever. The fact that we're even there, I think we have an opportunity, maybe even an obligation to pay it forward. Hey, Annie checking in over here. Jillian Guzda checking in. What's up, y'all? Get in here. Hannah checking in. Celebrate our birthday with us at moveforhungry.org/give. Very cool. Adam, I want to get into some of the initiatives that are going on this year.
Yeah.
I know we got a lot of guests waiting backstage here. A lot of stars here waiting to get on with us.
Absolutely. So, I'll talk briefly, and then we can bring on our first guest as well, which I'm excited about. So, some really exciting things that happened the first half of the year. We were one of just not many organizations selected as part of the White House Challenge to End Hunger and Build Healthy Communities. So we are making commitments and pledges with this administration and the next administration to ensure that we are delivering more fresh food to communities across the country. And we, up until COVID, weren't even recovering fresh food. And now it's almost 50% of everything that we're doing is delivering fresh, healthy, nutritious food to families in need. We are doing more events at conferences than ever before. So if you got a trade show coming up, you'll probably see us there packing meals, doing architectures, doing truck pulls. Like, there's all sorts of fun things happening within the mobility space. We are starting to work on our multifamily side of the house, working with military housing, which is something we've been really excited about for a long time. We know that there's more transition with military families in almost any segment. You know what's going on with the DoD contract. So touchy subjects within the industries, but also people are moving. And the government actually has some lines in the legislation that they're doing with this that they want to ensure that food donation is part of that process. So I think Move for Hunger can actually play a pretty pivotal role here to ensure that food is not going to waste during those military moves. Also, just corporate engagement in general. So we've seen more companies just wanting to engage their employees throughout the year. Team building, which has been like really, really exciting. Working with large companies like Campbell Soup or Sodexo Health and many others. So we want to do more of that. And for those listening, if you're looking for ways or desire to engage your employees, count us in, right? We're here to help make sure that the work that they're doing feels meaningful throughout the course of the year. And the final thing I just want to...
You guys have so many creative solutions. I know, you've done the Shark Week, you've canned the CEO at some big time RMCs. There's some fun stuff too here.
Yeah. That's the thing. How do you give people a creative way to give back and make that experience fun all the way around? I've got a phenomenal team that is constantly coming up with ideas. So we can do that and raise awareness, like, our Guinness World Record attempt last year, which was a ton of fun. And the next big thing coming down the pike right now, we're launching a charity freight network where not only working with movers, but we're working now with freight and logistics companies that are going to be helping us move more fresh food and bulk product. You're going to see a lot more of that happen, I'd say, within the next 6 months to a year. So that's coming down the pike. And one of the men responsible for a lot of that is actually on my team, Kramer Stuth, who's here with us today. And
let's bring Kramer. Can we bring Kramer out?
Yeah.
Let's bring Kramer out. Kramer, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
Hey, good to see you. Good to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to talk. I love talking.
love talking. Kramer, you're one of our newer team members. So
Correct.
Where did you come from and why Move for Hunger?
Yeah, so I started with Move for Hunger back in January. So I've been here for roughly about 7 months. Before that, I worked for Great Plains Food Bank in Fargo, North Dakota. So way up north in the frigid cold. So I started there in November of 2020. The reason why I got into food banking or just like helping fight food insecurity and hunger relief is because growing up, like my family wasn't necessarily like well off to where we could just go out and do whatever and eat whatever we wanted. We have attended food pantries in the city that we lived in. And so I wanted to give back to the community that I was in. And so that's why I started working as a food resource specialist here at Great Plains Food Bank in Fargo, North Dakota. Fast forward 4 years, I had this great opportunity to meet Adam, and I got connected through Feeding America. One of my mentors there passed my information along to Adam, and here we are. I am the manager of our food recovery programs here at Move for Hunger, and I'm very excited to continue growing.
Hey, Kramer, I love the story, and I love how it connects, to your personal journey. But can you tell us a little bit, like, can you give us like an example of what that means in practical terms? How are you connecting it?
Yeah, definitely. So I'll start with my work at the food bank. So when I was at the food bank, I ran our logistics team and also our food sourcing team. So I was in charge of food coming in and food going out. So not only was I sourcing locally sourced food in North Dakota, but it was also going to the communities that were food deserts in that area. So that's what really hit home for me, was being able to bring food to an area that does not have access to that type of food. So that's what hit home for me now. Now with Move for Hunger, I'm able to do that on a national scale and do that not only in all 50 states, but also in Canada as well. And so just being able to impact more people across the country is what really grows and really kind of makes me want to do more. So,
Kramer, a lot of people probably don't know, like when food banks are delivering food, like where is some of this food coming from, right? So like we know that in some cases food is purchased, but when in your role here at Move for Hunger, you're picking up trailer loads of product all across the country on the daily. Like, can you give a couple examples of, like, when we talk about food waste, like this is food that would otherwise be wasted, but they're calling us and saying, hey, we have this food, we don't know what to do with it.
Right. Yeah. So I'll give an example that happened today. So I went to a conference in Houston a couple months ago, met a lot of great people there. And one of those people that I met there, they reached out and they said that they had a trucker that was in Maryland that got denied 8 pallets worth of romaine lettuce. When they went to the store to drop off that product that they had ordered, they did their quality check and they only checked 1 box of this romaine lettuce, and it wasn't up to their standard of receiving it in and putting it on their shelves to sell. So they denied that whole thing. Typically what that company has done in the past is they would just take it to the local dump and just dispose of that product that way. Because I made that fruitful connection with them at that conference, they reached out to me, and within 30 minutes, I was able to direct them to a local food bank in the Maryland area and route that truck to go and bring that product to that local food bank instead of having that go to a landfill or something.
Now, in a situation, Kramer, that's a really great story. In a situation like that, where that romaine, maybe 1 box of 8 pallets didn't pass muster or whatever,
correct.
That's fresh food, right? So how long do you have until that fresh food is no longer salvageable to get it to a food bank so they can get in the hands of people?
Yeah, so it really depends. It's case by case, depends on the product, right? But
hold on, is that a food waste pun? Case by case.
I heard it too, but you called it out.
Kramer, come on, man. Those got to be pre-approved, okay? Production. You can't just be dropping puns on people like
that. That was I didn't even mean to do that.
You're gonna break the internet, Kramer. You got to stop, okay? There's only one funny guy on this show, Kramer. Okay.
Hey, well, hopefully I can come back in the future. But yeah, so it really is a case by case basis. Depends on the product. Depends on like this one was so urgent because the driver had another pickup for another route to go get, and so he didn't want to be late for that next pickup, and so that's why it was so urgent to get that done right away. But there are certain instances where it can be a little, or there's a little bit more of leeway for time frame, but it really just depends. So
yeah, it's things like this happening every single day. We're at this point, we're just never surprised about the calls we get. I mean, literally like a trailer load of mochi ice cream I think you got a half a truckload of whole fish.
Dude,
and then,
bring me a trailer load of mochi ice cream.
but then it's not only like this stuff exists, but because we've developed such strong relationships with the food banks and pantries across the country, not everyone needs everything at any given moment or even has the capacity to accept everything. So we need to be able to have 3 food banks or pantries in our back pocket that we can call and say, do you want this? And be able to move that pretty quickly. So they've done a great job of ensuring food gets to where it needs to be.
Yeah, definitely. And we're also doing a lot of great work with different gleaning organizations across the country. We're doing a lot with Society of St. Andrew and doing watermelon loads. Like I think we've done probably about 5 or 6 trailer loads of watermelon in Georgia, where it's 20 to 30 watermelon totes that are double stacked. 40,000 pounds per trailer that we're delivering to local food banks and food pantries in the area that are coming from these gleaning organizations and farmers as well. So a lot of really great work that my team is doing across the country, and I'm excited to continue doing more.
Now, I remember when, Move for Hunger was just kind of focused on non-perishables, and peanut butter was a big one, right? What's on the fresh food side? What is that food that you love? Oh, you're like, oh snap, we got ourselves some watermelon, or what's that thing you're looking for out there? Because you can move it.
Yeah, literally anything. I'm a big watermelon guy. My daughter loves watermelon, so it's always nice to be able to move that type of product. But like anything healthy and nutritious is what I'm looking for. So any type of produce. We did some jackfruit to Baltimore one time. That was pretty interesting. That was cool. But yeah,
are those big spiky ones, jackfruit?
Yeah.
I need to get some Move for Hunger jackfruit recipes out there in the community. Yeah.
But again, that's what happens, right? There's these loads of food that are happening all across the country. Our food is constantly moving, the food system, and the role that we're playing now beyond getting folks to donate their food when they move is how do we ensure that food doesn't go to waste? So talking to all the players within the supply chain, we work with an Amazon Flex warehouse in Tennessee. We did almost 1 million pounds of food with them last year. Nelson Westerberg was picking up tons of food from a HelloFresh distribution center down in Atlanta last year, which was also pretty incredible. And these this food adds up, and it's all good food that needs a home to go to. Hey Ben, I don't want to play moderator, but we get a lot of other guests, and I
Let's
get to talk
do it
to Kramer every day.
Kramer, you know what? That's your last pun, Kramer. You're out of here, buddy. No, Kramer, thanks for all the hard work you do in the community. Really excited to have you on the team and to hear more about you, Jack and this jackfruit and sending it to people that need it. Okay. Thanks, Kramer.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Take care, buddy. All right. Who's next, Adam? Oh, real quick. Let's check in. We got a couple people in the comments here. I got my dad who now goes by Dan Tulsa. Apparently that's his bar name, I guess. Dad, you got to clear these things first. I love you, man. Terry Head, check in and spread the word on Move for Hunger so they can play an even bigger role in fighting hunger. I love Terry, man. Terry just staying in the community. Marcello is saying, I have customers who produce ice cream. You'll be surprised how much off-spec product they have to dispose of. Partnerships divert many loads from the landfill. She's in the food recycling angle. So she's saying she can be a
We should talk.
This is fantastic. And this is the beauty of the show. You never know who's going to check in. Hit that like button. Get in the comments. I want to know, what are you doing in your community to aid in food insecurity? Have you partnered with Move for Hunger? What is your company doing? This is your time to kind of toot your own horn, get out there. Or if you have an idea or a resource that you want to lend, hey, throw it in the comments and we'll definitely give you a shout out. Adam, let's keep it moving here. Who do we got next?
We got Tanya Engelbrecht from Beltman Relocation Group.
Woo, Tanya. Hey, Tanya.
Hi. Hello.
Shout out to Tanya and Beltman. We love Beltman.
Beltman has got to be one of our longest standing partners. I mean, if Move for Hunger has been around 15 years, I'd say Beltman has been with us for at least 12 of them. And they have just been phenomenal. So Tanya, thank you for everything. Not only you were doing as like a person, because you've been just such a great supporter of our cause, but your whole company, all the locations, like goes all the way up to the top and the bottom. Like it's just really fun working with the Beltman group.
Thank you very much. We enjoy it so much. We really do. And it really, for us, it starts with the ownership. I mean, he's very engaged and he's very passionate about this the Move for Hunger program. And, he drives all of us. So we're thankful for him.
Well, I'd say Beltman and now Beltman Ward, since you guys kind of came together, collectively, you've been able to provide over 400,000 meals to families in need. And that's one company, 400,000 meals. And last year, we actually had our Great North American Food Drive. This is a big campaign that we do with North American Van Lines. I don't know, Tanya, do you want to tell us a little bit about it? Because you guys won this thing last year in a big way. But
oh, yes.
Talk about that experience, because it's going to be kicking off again pretty soon, and would love to hear about it.
Yeah, it was really so much fun. And talk about team building. I didn't even realize that's what we were going to be doing. We didn't go into it with that mindset. So, North American ran a contest, and it wasn't about the contest. It really was about what we were doing it for, which is to help those in our local communities. But the contest sort of made it fun because we have a very competitive group of leaders. So we had that contest, and then Beltman had its contest within other contests that kind of broke down into each location. And it really was so much fun. We were able to, measure it. And we published reporting each week just to kind of continue to drive it. People got excited. They got incredibly competitive to the point that it felt like they were squealing in on two wheels trying to make it to the food bank to get their weights, 30 minutes left before the time expired. So it really was a lot of fun. And we did a lot of creative things to try to pull it off, and we did, and very pleased with our results, and we're hoping to do even better this year.
Tanya's being a little humble there. If North American Van Lines has a contest, Beltman is in it to win it. Okay, so don't act like, we just had it. Wasn't about the contest. No, Beltman is there for the trophy. Okay, we know
that is true. And for those who can't see my picture right now, I'm blushing because I think I just got called out on the truth here. But yes, we are very competitive, and we are in it to win it always. But also for a good cause.
Yeah, this is the 4th annual year that we've done with North American Food Drive, for the Great North American Food Drive. That food drive has helped produce over 125,000 meals alone. If you are a North American Van Line agent listening today, you can join us for this event coming up. It kicks off August 1st and is running through the middle of October. North Americans got prizes for it. But I also just want to give a little bit more of a shout out to Beltman as well. In 2023, you guys fed 80,000 people. Already this year, you've fed 55,000 people, and we're halfway through the year. So I know you've got a lot of locations, but for those listening in, you can do this. You can make an impact. They're doing this every day, whether it's food drives, whether it's collecting food from their customers, whether they're doing some bulk food recovery with us from time to time. Beltman, in my mind, is just like a shining example of a company that has made Move for Hunger part of the process. And in doing so, we're seeing impact rise year over year.
I want to comment on that, and I have a question. I'm also seeing a ton of comments come in. Get in the comments here. Hit that like button. People are giving applause to Beltman here, saying amazing, well done, guys. It's incredible work. And that's Simon, and you know what? He knows the King of England, so he's very well connected. Chappie's here, better late than never. Good to see you all. Hey, Chappie, stay cool out there, buddy. Dana Cashone saying, you guys killed it, Tanya. Don't be modest about it. Mm-hmm. And Taylor says, we are so grateful for Beltman Relocation Group support. I got a question though, Tanya. I was with a North American agent for a long time. Shout out to my friends at university. We were able to win the Move for Hunger Mover of the Year award several years ago, and shout out to the North American family. Does such a great job, with these food drives. But Tanya, what has made you so effective? 80,000 meals last year, 55,000 year to date, halfway through the year. What has made you so effective logistically or from a process standpoint that other movers out there that are watching this could say, hey, we want to take this best practice back to our operation?
I think there's two things. I mean, what, the first and foremost is that, you have to keep it in front of everyone. You have to remind them. If you don't, people forget. It's like anything. So we constantly have to stay engaged, make sure that people are remembering what they're doing, even when they get busy, and that we still have a mission to complete. The other thing too is the call to action. When Adam needs something from us, I mean, there are times I don't even know about it. They just do it. Our individual locations just say, sure, yeah, where do I need to be and at what time? We'll have a truck ready and waiting. So I think those are really the two main things. And we publish, we drive, processes, we put them in place, and we publish results. And I think that just kind of keeps that competitive nature and reminds everybody to keep it foremost in your mind every day.
That's a really good point you bring up. There's the Hawthorne effect, right? I mean, what's measured improves, right? And the fact that you're reporting on it, keeping it top of mind, and that natural development competitive spirit comes out. So I love the fact that that you're measuring it and reporting on it frequently.
Well, Tanya, you're amazing. Your team is amazing. Please say hello to the team for me today. Going from mover and moving on to another mover, though, we've got Freddie Paxton with us today.
Thanks, Tanya.
Also their favorite human to bring on board.
Hey, Freddie!
Hey, guys. How are you? Good to see your smiling faces. This is great.
Very short time no see, Freddie.
I know. I was just hugging you a couple weeks ago. Good to see you again.
Freddie, I'm coming to DC next month. I have to stop by your restaurant and enjoy some margs or something. So I'm coming, buddy. We're doing it.
Convivial's ready for you.
Does everyone know that Freddie has a restaurant? Because I don't know if everyone even knows that. And, I haven't been there yet either, and I need to go.
Yeah, we have Convivial, which is a fine dining French restaurant. Cedric Montpellier is our chef. He got a James Beard nod a couple of years ago, so we're very excited about that. We also have a Mexican beer garden called El Rey. It's in the U Street corridor. That is just fantastic. Serves great margaritas, and we actually built it out of two of our shipping containers, one from Iraq and one from Afghanistan. So it's got the Paxton imprint right on the side.
That's so cool.
So
needless to say, besides the margaritas, food is very important to just you and the Paxton family as a whole.
Absolutely, yeah. When I started working for my father as a surveyor, he didn't pay me enough, so I worked as a bartender, as a bar back, as a waiter. I did multiple jobs in my younger years, and just as I was growing up, got to enjoy different restaurants and meet different people in the restaurant industry in the Washington, D.C. market, and just love serving people, whether it's household goods, whether it's at a restaurant. It's just fantastic. So enjoy it.
Amazing. You guys are doing things, I mean, besides getting folks to donate their food when they move, you do things a little bit differently. We may have touched on it last year, but I can't stop gushing about it. You guys did some food recovery, or you do food recovery from a local farmer's market. Can you tell us about that and really what that's meant?
Absolutely. Our team here throughout the household goods team, the general cargo, the office moving team, they're all really engaged with Move for Hunger. And it was, I think, back in 2022 that one of our office moving team members came up and said, hey, I was at my local farmers market this weekend, and I noticed that they were just getting rid of a bunch of fresh food. And, there has to be something we can do about this. So our team got together. We started doing pickups at the local farmers market on Sundays. We sent a team over along with the local farmers market team, and we were able to bring all that fresh food to our local food pantry, and really provide people with insecurity fresh food. It's an important addition, a key piece to keeping people healthy. And we're talking lettuce, we're talking tomatoes, fresh eggs, meat. Of course, it's a farmer's market, so every week it could be a little bit different. So you keep things changing too, so people going to the food pantry can enjoy what everybody else enjoys.
Freddie, you did like 100,000 pounds of fresh food though in 2022, which is phenomenal. And this all started essentially by one of your teammates seeing something and saying, we want to take action. We know there's something to do. And when you came to us, we were able to sit down with the local food pantry, who was typically closed on Sundays. But once Freddie offered to say, like, hey, we're going to have a crew there, we're going to have a truck, we just need you to open your doors at this time, and we're going to bring it all to you free of charge. Their minds were blown. And like that to me is just a really great example of a local relationship.
And it's funny because our whole team was so excited for spring to come around because the farmers market was opening back up, and they knew that they could start doing this on Sundays. So we have a bunch of team members that just volunteer to do it every Sunday, and really enjoy giving back. So, with Move for Hunger, giving us that opportunity to kind of do more, we just love it at the organization.
So Freddie, when you guys go out there and pick up the food on the Sunday at the farmers market, does the food pantry open for like abbreviated hours for like a pre-scheduled drop? I'm always thinking about the logistics as a mover. I'm always thinking about ETAs and windows and and do they open up for like an hour? Like call me, I'll meet you down there. We'll open up the door. We'll put it into the cold, the walk-in or something, the fridge.
Absolutely.
And leave it and then Monday we'll kind of sort it a little bit.
Absolutely. They're members of the food pantry that are there with us to help pick up the items. So we drive it over in our vehicle, and they're ready to take it immediately.
Okay. So they're providing some labor too.
Absolutely. So
nice.
It's a team effort. It's a Paxton team and the local food pantry. It's fantastic.
That's awesome. And Scott Chapman's over here having his quarterly good idea. He says, I see a group road trip happening to his restaurant in October during GWS. Freddie, looks like you're going to have a crowd, man. We're going to need some reservations.
I love it. That's fantastic. Convivial.
We might need to have some cocktails for a cause after the party for a purpose, right?
That sounds perfect. I love it. I love it.
For a cause. Now we're talking, Adam. What are you in marketing over there? This is great.
It's what I do. I mean, Freddie, we'll get into this a little bit with the next guest, but I just saw you at SHRM. It was my first time attending SHRM. Because we are starting to work with more and more companies that want to do team building and employee engagement. And I gotta say, like, it was eye-opening. I mean, 60-something thousand people. But coming home, you think about leads and business cards, and like, there's a lot of companies that want to do good and want to get involved that aren't part of the relocation industry. Any takeaways from a conference like that, and like also you're getting ready to get in the mindset of a GWS coming into your home city. Like what's that feeling like?
I'm always excited to have people in my hometown. I'm born and raised here in Washington, DC. I love it when I am's here, when ERC's here. It makes my year because I love Washington, DC. You have the political side, but you also have a lot of people here that actually just live here and grew up here and raise their families here. And it's a beautiful city, so we're excited to have everybody here.
Amazing. Well, Freddie, thank you so much for being here today.
Hey, you guys are great.
Please say hello to your brother, Bill. I miss him. I love him too. And hopefully I'll see him again soon. But I will see you in a few short months out in DC. We're all going for margaritas, it sounds like.
Let's go. Big hugs, Freddie. See you soon, buddy.
Love you guys. Thanks very much.
All right, take care.
I'm pumping through this thing, Ben, because we got still more guests.
Let's keep it rolling. Get in the comments right now if you're watching it. This is the part of the show where I start shouting again. Get in the comments. Hit that like button, okay? Let's give Freddie a virtual round of applause, and let's keep it moving. Adios, Freddie.
Up next, we got a member of our corporate action network, the CAN. Ben, you were a founding member of that. Rachel Darren.
I prefer the term forefather.
Forefather. We can go with that. I like it. Yeah.
I was on the Mayflower of the CAN.
Mayflower of the CAN. We got Rachel from the agency.
Hey, Rachel.
Hey, you guys. Hi.
Love it.
Hi, Ben. Thanks for having me today.
So good to see you, Rachel.
So good to see you both. Hopping on for CAN, the Corporate Action Network.
Tell us about the can-do attitude, the Corporate Action Network. What is it, Rachel?
Yes. So it's a group of a lot of mobility professionals from corporate suppliers, anybody who's interested in supporting Move for Hunger. And we come together and try to think of creative things, try to plan some of the events, help Adam with all of the things that he's doing across the globe. So the Corporate Action Network is kind of there in the background to support and assist with events. One of the great events we have coming up is the Bay Area Truck Pull.
Yeah, let's go.
Can't wait. It was
Love
so
it.
much fun last year and the last 2 years. It's been super, super fun. So I was popping on today to talk about the Bay Area Truck Pull. It's hosted on the USS Hornet in Alameda, California.
Love it.
Beautiful, right there on the bay. Just come for the views if you don't want to pull a truck, but
Always a nice view out there.
There's not a lot of truck pulls on an aircraft carrier, so this is one of my favorites. I mean, the old days in Detroit, Ben. I mean, those are fun too. In the back alley behind Eastern Market. I mean, that was
back alley truck pulls we were running in Detroit.
Yeah, that was, in my mind, that was like one of the most fun. But Bay Area coming up, oh my God! Like we had close to 200 people turned out for that event last year.
People flew in from all over the country. People flew in from as far away as like DC, the East Coast, down to Texas. I was there, but my team was there. I mean, it was a lot of fun hanging out. Detroit was a lot of fun, but Bay Area always classes it up a little bit, and so we always had a good time. Then we go out for drinks and eats afterwards. There's always an amazing food truck there that does not get pulled at stationary. Law enforcement shows up and shows out and usually kind of raises the bar. But it's fun. Law enforcement may show up, but those movers always win. They always win.
So this year we're going to try to we got the cops coming back, which is great. And then we're going to try to get the fire department to pull against the cops. So we're trying to, yes. So this year we should have some fun competition. I'm sure the movers will show up as well as they have, but just coming for the good times, the location. We're going to order up some perfect weather here in the Bay Area for you when you're here. And we're super excited about it. I can't wait. It's going to be fun.
It's awesome. And Taylor's putting a link there to sign up as well and get more information.
It's your team.
We need teams, right?
Yeah.
We need teams. We need sponsors. We're planning. We've got a great committee this year for the Bay Area Truck Pull. We're planning on a lot more corporate teams this year. So if your company is based in the Bay Area, even if you can't field a whole team of 10, like we'll put you on a team. Like you can sign up. There's no cost to actually pull the truck. Like anybody can register. But we had some phenomenal sponsors last year, and my hope is we can continue to fill that up because we've got food and we've got drinks and we've got shirts and fun and music.
Team building, Adam, just even if you want to just team building, if you want to get your company out there just as a team building activity, be out in a beautiful sunny day in the afternoon on a Thursday. So it's on Wednesday, excuse me. So even team building activities, a couple companies last year showed up that just wanted to do something to bond, which was great.
Yeah, and you know what I really love about the Corporate Action Network is this concept that was kind of created a few years ago really closed the loop, right? Because we had the movers and then we kind of did some corporate housing. We got the RMCs involved, right? And now getting the corporates involved kind of closes the whole ecosystem, right? Because if our clients are involved and our clients are saying, what are you doing about food insecurity? What are you doing about ESG? What are you doing to help your community? Are you supporting Move for Hunger? And now all of a sudden there's like this trickle down effect and this demand that's created by involving our corporate friends. And it just feels like this thing just added gas to the fire. And it was just amazing. And now to go out to these truck pulls and now, of course the movers always win because we're the best. But the corporate folks are out there like Team Rivian's out there pulling a truck, and like, I mean, it's just a lot of fun when the corporates get involved and then people really have to up the ante.
Yeah, I think Tanya with eBay is going to have a team out there this year. So
I know KPMG is coming to pull again. Ravi out there. So it's fun to really see everyone in the industry come together. And, around the Corporate Action Network, as you were saying, like if there's folks listening in that want to get more involved, that want to play more of a role in our mission, like definitely reach out. We're always accepting applicants for our Corporate Action Network. Probably adding a few more spots by the end of the year and definitely adding more into next year. And then even tying back, seeing some of the comments earlier in the chat, people were saying, oh, well, I work with a food company or my client does this and they might have food to donate. Like, think about who your clients are too. Like there might be some other ways that we can connect them to Move for Hunger. Not everything's about money. Like we're looking to recover more food for families in need. So When we think about the folks that join committees or volunteer their time, a lot of it's just helping introduce us to the right people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, from my participation on the Corporate Action Network, and doing a truck pull in Detroit, we were looking for big sponsors, strategic partners, and one of the ones that we came across was Kroger. And I was a loyal Kroger shopper up there in Detroit, and we came across the lady who was absolutely amazing, and she was based there in Detroit, and she oversaw a bunch of regions and stuff, and we were able to put together these massive food drives at the Kroger stores, and it was so cool because I remember bringing my family to one, and our moving company had a team at each Kroger with a truck outside, and one of those big Gaylord boxes full, like a watermelon box, if you will, right? And I think our team collected 3 watermelon boxes by standing out there with my family. And we actually had these sheets of paper, and the paper was basically a checklist, a shopping list. And we said, if you'd like to, here's a shopping list of what people in need would need, and and go get it. As everything from cereal to peanut butter to pasta sauce, etc. Right? And they'd go in there, and it was so beautiful because I was standing there with my little boys, and I'd hand a shopping list to somebody, and they'd go in there with their kids in the cart, and it was an opportunity for those kids to learn how to shop off a list, but also to learn about people in need. It was a talking point, it was a learning and educational opportunity, and then my kids saw the fruits of that, and it was just such a wonderful experience. So that's just one that I personally really touched me. We did it a couple times, and I would highly recommend folks try something like that. I was so enriched by the experience.
I remember the photos, Ben. You were texting me on that Saturday morning of you and your kids out there hustling and doing really amazing things. So thank you to you and your family for that. And also thank you because you basically introduced us to Kroger, who, by the way, Kroger's got this incredible Zero Hunger, Zero Waste campaign that they have as part of their company culture. And we've done a lot of things with Kroger since that initial introduction. So they've become a big supporter of a lot of the work that we do.
Can I tell a really quick story? Okay, I shouldn't tell, but I'm going to tell it because
it's your show, Ben.
Hey, right. I'll just mute everybody if I have to. No, we did this thing with Kroger, and I remember Adam calls me up. He's like, "Hey, good news. There's this fill a cop car thing, right, that they got going on at all these locations. There's like 20 locations, so we need your support. How many can you do, right?" Like, "Oh, I don't know. We can do like these in this county or something, right? A dozen or something, right?" And I was having trouble getting drivers, getting trucks. It was like in the summertime, right? It was like hard, right? And so they fill the cop car, and then all that food goes back, and it goes and sits in the back of the Kroger, and then they waits for us, right? I had never driven a moving truck before. I think I might have had driven like a U-Haul as a young person at some point, right? But I had never driven a moving truck. I do not have a CDL. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Okay, I don't know if you knew this about me or not. Okay, they call me at the moving company. They call me Shiny Shoes. When I go in the warehouse, hey, Shiny Shoes, where you going? And so anyway, so I get this call, and I'm like, okay, I signed up for this. I got to do this. So I took a small truck, a small straight, probably fit like 6 pallets in the back. I took a small truck, and I drove it around to collect this food. And so I pulled up to this one Kroger. I'm like, I'm finally getting the hang of this thing. I'm taking it on highways. I'm like, and I pull up to the front of this Kroger, and I'm back. I'm trying to do a 3-point turn. At this point, my confidence was peaking, right? So I'm trying to do a 3-point turn in the front of this Kroger. I back into one of those cement pylons in the front, and it's like, and the pylon's like leaning, right? and I'm like, oh crap! I basically had a small accident in this truck, and I'm not like a CDL driver. Okay, what am I gonna do at this point? Tanya's probably freaking out right now backstage watching this, like, oh my God, you'd be fired immediately. Yes, thank you. I would be. And so I got out. I'm like, okay, do I just drive away? I'm like, no, that's worse. I've heard you don't just drive away. So I get out and I go tell like the kid that's getting the carts in the, I told somebody, I told the kid that's getting the carts in the parking lot. He's like, oh, don't worry about it, man. I hit him all the time. And he goes over to it and he just like, boom, and puts it back on. And I'm like, sweet, I'm out of here. Get out of there with my pallets of, food and everything. But anyway, you do what you got to do to get the food to the food pantry. And I just told him myself, but whatever.
The lesson here is the laws don't apply when you've got a good heart.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like when you're out there doing good. If you're a superhero and you fight the bad guy and you turn around and all the buildings are on fire because your laser beams caught you, hey, your heart was in the right place. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Anything goes when you're out there trying to help the community.
All right, Rachel, we got one more guest, so
Yes.
I'm going to say goodbye to you.
Thanks for having me. Yes.
The truck pull
Yes.
coming up in October. We need sponsors. We need teams. Reach out to me. Reach out to Rachel. Reach out to the planning committee. We'd love to have you. Rachel, we'll talk to you soon.
See you guys. See you later.
Later, Rachel. Thank you. All right, Adam.
We got one more guest here today.
The home stretch.
Mark Wayano from Starwood Pet Travel.
Hit that like button for Mark Wayno.
Woo. Hey guys, how you doing?
How are you, Mark?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Brand
Awesome.
spanking new partner of the Move for Hunger movement. We talked to a bunch of old hat, if you will. They've been involved for a long time. They've been supporters forever. You guys decided to get involved this year and say this is something that we are passionate about. We want to get involved. Why did you get involved? And then we'll talk a little bit about our Move to Fight Hunger Challenge, which I know you guys played a big role in as well.
Yeah. You know, honestly, you hear a lot of philanthropic opportunities, and you know what you guys are doing is just so unique, but also so obvious. It seems like such an obvious thing that should have been happening for forever. But then when we heard about it, and it was the first time we heard about it, we were just like, this is genius. And the fact that it related to an industry that we're in, you know, we help people with when they're relocating, and this is about managing their waste, and you know, one person's trash is another person's treasure, and you able to get that food into the hands of needy families was just such an inspirational endeavor when we heard about it. And really, me and our CEO, Brett Furlong, when we heard it, we just like, this is a group we want to be involved with. And obviously, you've been doing such a great job for 15 years. Your record speaks for itself. What did you say? Was it 40 million meals?
40 million. Yep.
Unbelievable. Yeah. So, you know, obviously, like you said, we're new. We're doing our best, and hopefully we can do as much as we can to help grow that number.
Well, Starwood Pet Travel is our first and only pet relocation company that's ever gotten involved with our efforts. So, thank you, because we're really excited about it, but it's like also like a whole new segment. And I know this year you're going big. I think I can announce it here. You guys are going to be making a donation for every pet relocation this year to support Move for Hunger. Like every single pet relocation, with a goal of providing 66,000 meals to families in need. Thank you.
No, I mean, again, the opportunity to be involved with a group like this is just, for us, just felt like such a great chance to, you know, being able to provide and give back to those in need. Now, the one thing I have talked about, Adam, about this, we have to somehow down the line in the future be able to secure and procure pet food as that's being thrown out. I know that has different sort of standards and different levels. That would be a cool piece. That would be even more close to home for the pet travel industry. But I mean, again, the cause, giving back to those in need and whatnot is just something that we felt very passionate about. So we're really proud to be involved.
Yeah, we're excited to have you, and I know Starwood's getting involved in a variety of ways. The big one recently was the Move to Fight Hunger Challenge, which so many of you all listening in participated in this year. I know it was super competitive, 600 participants, over $50,000 raised, which was pretty incredible.
Wow.
Mark, you want to talk about the miles at all, or anything in terms of like your experience with this event?
Yeah, so we had about, I think, 14 or 15 folks from our team getting involved, and really it was just, you know, obviously we all walk, we're all trying to raise for this cause, but it really was a great networking opportunity within our company. I mean, we had a Slack channel going. We're all challenging each other to get out there, be healthy, while there were so many teams involved, and we were striving to be one of the top 5. You know, within all the organizations that are participating. Just internally, we were all trying to be the number one within our team. So everybody was pushing each other, saying, you know, these folks are going for their dog walk. Some people just trying to hit their step count for the day. Some people training for something. Whatever it was, just people being up and active obviously benefiting their own personal health, but then also being able to help deliver meals to those in need. It was just such a great cause, and again the competitive sort of nature of it within our team and the chats back and forth was really great and engaging for the team.
It's a lot of our industry that participates in this particular campaign. Collectively, 48,000 miles were walked during this year's event, which to me is just incredible. Scott Chapman, his company was involved. Thank you, Scott. We appreciate you too. Ben, I don't know if you have anything for Mark. I had one more thing I wanted to add.
I do. Yeah, I do actually. I love donation drives, if you will, that are around, for every move we do, we're going to donate X, right? I did one of those a long time ago, and it was such a fantastic talking point with our clients, right? To connect them back to our purpose and say, if you want to make a impact in your community, you don't have to necessarily volunteer your time if you can't do it because you're working, or you don't necessarily have to go in your own pocketbook if things are tight for you, but you can make a purchasing decision on behalf of your company or your clients and know that that money is going to get back to your community to help people. And I absolutely love this. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a great sales and marketing technique. I know you're doing it out of the goodness of your heart, but I also know from a business standpoint, I think it's always important that we turn this back to ROI sometimes, because I think that is going to always be a real driver for change for good. And I love it. I want to know, mechanics wise, how does it work? Is it for every order you're going to donate a certain amount of money? How are you determined to do this? How did you come up with this idea?
Yeah, so me and Adam, we spitballed a lot of different ideas, even things as crazy, which unfortunately won't work out. But trying to do a dog run at this year's GWS, to have a show dog sort of run through, but then on top of that, to have folks come and run it themselves, and then we would donate for everybody who was willing to do it. Maybe get some CEOs of some companies to compete, and whoever had the most.
You're not getting me to race a dog on the show floor of GWS. Stop it, Mark. I see where this is going.
No,
there's no bad ideas in brainstorming, Ben.
Yeah, this was all in the heart of brainstorming. They said the same thing. They don't want any twisted ankles out there or busted knees. So
I'm not going to ride a tricycle across the expo floor racing a Greyhound. It's not happening.
Feels like a challenge.
Yeah, maybe next year. Yeah, but no, so we weren't able to get that to happen. But yeah, we were, just spitballing ideas, and we just wanted to get the money into the hands of Adam and his team, and whether the moves come through or not, like, we're committed to make the donation. But it's just great that the folks and folks listening just know that that the cause that we're sort of connected with and that we're supporting is doing good for so many folks in across the globe and here in the U.S. Particularly. It's something that we were just so passionate about. So the mechanics, folks, if you're a member of an RMC or an HR group, and you have a few choices in this industry. We like to think that our service and our our expertise bring a differentiator. But if you're stuck or you feel like there's how do I decide, this, to your point, it is one of those kind of cherries on top, right? To know that you're providing some sort of philanthropic angle to your decisions that you make as a business, and that was really our main goal there.
I gotta say a couple of things here, Mark. First of all, would you accept the challenge to race a buffalo at GWS? Because we have Scott Chapman, who says he will put on the buffalo costume and he will race. He misspelled your name, but he will race you at GWS. Will you accept Scott's challenge?
If it's Scott in a buffalo suit, I will accept the challenge. If it's an actual buffalo, I cannot.
Actual buffalo is the boss fight. First, you have to get through Scott, and then you go on to the actual buffalo round. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, you have to beat Scott. He's deceptively athletic.
I'm going to find out Scott is like a former 100-meter champion or something like that.
He's run 100 meters in his life cumulatively. He can do it. He's quicker than he looks. Scott, challenge accepted, it sounds like, here from Mark. Mark, I love your sporty spirit. But I will tell you this. So one thing I've done in the past is I said, okay, I'm going to take, $10 per move, and I'm going to donate it to this charity. And I've done it for a month. I've done it for a quarter. And if you want to see your orders go up with your clients, you announce this, and then you follow up every week with a leaderboard from your clients, and you show who's raised the most money, and you will start to see those orders just spiking, because it gives you a really good excuse to email them every month and encourage them to put orders in. And you will start to see, and at the end of the quarter, you're going to have, I bet you go up 250% on your sales, and everybody feels amazing. And you can write a big check in the names of your clients. Hey, that's free game out here, Mark. Okay. You don't know me that well.
People love competition. You're right there.
Every dollar Move for Hunger raises provides 3 meals to families in need. So
30 meals
as you think about those dollars, it does go very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
anybody out there, you know what? The idea, I don't own the idea. Anybody could steal the idea. Go forward with it. And I'm excited to see all these really smart, creative people out here and business leaders looking to do good in the community.
Well, Mark, thank you so much for popping in today. Thank you for your commitment. We're going to see Starwood at the Serva conference, sponsored a meal packing event with us too. So there's going to be some more happening with Starwood and Serva happening later this year. But Ben, this is our mid-year point. This is everything that's happened already. We still got we got convention season. We got a lot of things happening in Relo and Love, and all the things that are going to make sure that we put more food on the table for people in need. Our goal is 13 million meals by the end of this year. Wow. That is a 50% increase off of last year. And all of you tuning in today, you're the ones that can help us make that happen.
I love it. Hit that like button, get in the comments. If you want to get involved, if you got any ideas, put them in the comments here. Adam and his team will follow up with you. Got some phenomenal people you've met here on the show. Adam, I know we're kind of running out of time. Is there any final kind of thoughts or words that you want to leave us with?
Honestly, thank you. I mean, this is 15 years. You're going to hear a lot more from me on that next month when we actually hit the anniversary. But just thank you. If you want to get involved, please find me. Please find my team. We want to work with all of you. We appreciate you. And it doesn't take much to make a difference. Every single one of you has the power to help feed somebody. We'd love to do that with you.
Such a good point, Adam. Sometimes we think we just come to work and we're just a move coordinator, just the ops manager, just a salesperson, and we undersell our ability to make an impact in the lives of others and our community. And Adam, thank you, and thank the team and Move for Hunger for giving us that opportunity.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Mark.
Take care, everybody. We will see you tomorrow, same time. Stay tuned to all Move for Hunger's got going on. Love y'all.